begins, it obviously has to start with something that people want to hear, people want to listen to. So anyway, I'm reading a book that Bob Dylan wrote called Chronicles, and so I'm kind of a Dylan fan, and he was talking about the Brill building in New York, and that's where so many songs were generated that became these incredible pop monsters. Carole King was writing there, and just a bunch of writers that were very productive and very, very prolific. But when I first started thinking about, I played music because my dad played music. He played in square dance bands, and we used to, go around with him on Friday and Saturday nights to like Grange halls. You all know what a Grange hall is? And firehouses. They pull the fire trucks out and literally throw sawdust on the floor. And my dad and my second cousin and some of their buddies would play country music at square dances. They call them square and round dances. Square dances and the round dances were just the slow, So they do 3 sets of squares. Central Pennsylvania and Western New York. I'm from upstate New York originally, Albany area. So anyway, I thought it was the coolest thing, sitting on stage. I thought I was cool because my dad was up there playing songs, and so that's really. My brother and I started playing music when we were in 9th grade. I didn't really know that there was such a thing as, like a professional songwriter, somebody that was doing it for a living. I always thought, as probably most people do, that the artist that's singing the song is the one who's writing the song. But that's not always true. George Strait really, I don't think, started writing songs until recently. Now you have your artists that do write a lot of their songs. I'd say Garth Brooks probably maybe at least half of his songs. And, Brad Paisley writes a lot of his, and it just depends. Clint Black wrote a lot of his. But then there's other artists who really, those are my favorite artists, the ones who don't write. Tim McGraw doesn't write. Thank you, Tim. We need more guys like him. But anyway, the goal is when we come into a writing session, and I write pretty much every day, I'll write, these days it's been between 100 and 120 songs a year. It used to be 50 to 60, and I've gotten to where, I don't know how this happened, but I've gotten to where, we're cranking them out at breakneck speed, apparently. So I write every day, pretty much, and we come into a situation, I was telling Gunter, we were not like, we're normally not in a situation like this. It's only because of the size of this co-writing staff here that we had to get a larger venue. The rooms that we write in are normally more like a very small living room, a couple couches and, lamps and, it used to be there was a telephone. Everybody's got their own now, but it was just kind of it's an office, but it was an office that like this is to a degree sterile compared to what a writer's room would be, which is conducive really to just creative thought. And that's what we're there to do. We're there to, bring our tools of the trade, which are a guitar, nowadays a computer, used to be a pen and a pencil, and an imagination. And you bring those things together and try to say, this is how I put it, we try to say something that's been said 1,000,000 times in a way it's never been said before. And that's what we're trying to do, and have a hit record. The only way we can make any money is to have our songs recorded and exploited. And I mean exploited in the meaning in the good, using it as a good term, meaning that it just, the more a song is heard worldwide, the better it is for the writers and publishers. Anyone who has an interest in that song benefits from that song being played everywhere.
Now, when you say we, you're talking about you individually, or you're getting together with an actual group of people who write with?
Normally, I co-write. I co-write probably 95+% of the time.
Oh, okay.
And several reasons for that is that you get that benefit of immediate gratification. The process is normally faster because 2 heads or 3 heads are better than one so we ought to be able to knock one out basically in 10 minutes. And
It'd be a new concept.
and so
Well, let's do 3 or 4 then.
Get a whole album out of this.
wow, wow, we could call it the conference room sessions. So yeah, it's normally when I say we because it's always a team. I shouldn't say always, but normally for me it's a team, and also included in the we is the publishers, the ones who we rely upon. Publisher, I say, has maybe 4 basic functions. One is to, throw a little bit of money to the writers so that we don't have to deliver as many pizzas. We don't have to spend as many hours delivering pizzas, and we can devote more time to writing. Second thing that they do is try to hook us up with other writers where we might be weaker. Hook us up with writers that cover for our weakness and are strong in areas that, you know what I mean? It's like if I'm a stronger lyricist, which I actually do consider myself a stronger lyricist than a melodic guy. So it's in my best interest and in my publisher's best interest to hook me up with somebody who's strong in the area of, unique melodies. And so, and vice versa. I do both, but I just, in my own mind, I'm a better lyricist. So, so that's another function of the publisher. The other thing is that they pay for demos and provide a place for us to be creative. And then the fourth thing is that they're a bit of a sales rep in a way for our songs. And they're going to take our songs. They listen to this catalog that's just completely full of songs and say, man, this one would be good for so-and-so. I mean, I can hear Martina McBride singing this song, for gosh sakes. And so they'll make a CD or MP3, a song that they think is appropriate for Martina McBride, either to Martina herself, which would be the best case scenario, which probably doesn't happen very often, or to Martina's producer, or to somebody at the record label that represents Martina, or maybe the management company, or maybe Martina's sister's manicurist's hairdresser, because you want to get Martina that song however you can do it. So, but that's, and I do some of my own song plugging, but not very much, not enough. But that's the publisher. We're partners because I'm supposed to create this stuff, and they're supposed to go and, find it a home. And so we have a very symbiotic relationship. But anyway, so a normal day for a songwriter is to say that you're going to be there at 10 and then show up at 10:30. And y'all are right. Maybe 10 or 10:30 is when you do it, is when you get together. And I don't know why that is. It seems to me when I first came to town in 1989 that I swear we started earlier. I mean, I think we started at like 9 or 9:30.
Wait a minute, are we doing AM or PM?
AM. Even though I do have a shirt from the Convention and Visitors Bureau that says music is the reason I get up every afternoon. That is not true with me. I'm a family man and I have been for many years, and so I am an early riser. But yeah, so normally it's 10:30 in the morning we would convene. But we had this, one of the publishing companies that I went to had a note posted on the bulletin board, and all it says was, writer, your co-writer called and is running 15 minutes late. And that just is across the board. Right, tell Billy I'm going to be 15 minutes late. We assume that. Don't even call. So anyway, kind of nice that it's a little loose like that. That suits me just fine. That's the kind of guy I am. Just kind of laid back about stuff like that. But my wife, not so much. She'd never make it as a songwriter. Way too punctual. But anyway, so then what we'll do is, have a list of ideas maybe. There's different ways you can, people ask all the time, well, how do you write a song, And it's like, well, we're gonna find out today, but you can start with, I have a tendency to I like words that sound good together. Like I said, I kind of fashion myself as a lyricist more so than, and so you either start noodling on the guitar and get some kind of musical thing going, and it's like, well, what kind of mood are you in? You're asking your co-writer, well, I don't know, what kind of mood you in? It's like, man, it's raining outside, I had a late night last night, I'm kind of in a ballad mood, so what does this sound like? And it's like, well, hey, you know what, I got an idea that kind of that would fit right in with that musical thing that you're doing. And so that's how it works, and we're just trying to, sculpt the song based on that, just trying to find common ground, and taking it from there and seeing what happens. Always trying to write the best song that we can. Now, I'll show you, we are privy to what's happening around town. Publishers and songwriters are provided with a pitch sheet, meaning, this is so that we can know who is recording, and I can show you this a little bit, and like you can see here, it lists the artist, and then the label that the artist records for, the producer, the date that they're going in the studio, and then a little description of what they think they're looking for. And I say what they think they're looking for because a lot of times they kind of have an idea, but it isn't necessarily so. In other words, they might say, we don't want any ballads, but man, if you play them a ballad that just knocks your socks off, they'll go and record that song.
Who compiles that little list that you?
Well, the publishers do by staying in contact with the record companies and the producers, because it's in everybody's best interest. It's in the record company's best interest. It's in the producer's best interest. It's in the artist's best interest. It's in the publishers and the writers, the managers, the booking agents. It's in everybody's best interest to get the highest quality material that you can get. The thing that's going to connect with the audience, that song that's going to propel an artist from no one's ever heard of them to a household name. And that's what everybody wants. And so what they do is they alert this town to, and I say they, meaning producers are, a lot of times A&R people. They want everyone to know this is what we're going for, this is what we're looking for, because they want the cream of the crop. They want the best of the best. And so it's in all points.
Would anybody be able to access that, or you're like in the club?
There are companies and I think there are songwriting websites and stuff that you can belong to that you could have access to it. It's not like it's a big secret, really. It's like I said, it's in everybody's best interest to get the best of it.
You said that those are particular songs these artists are working on?
No. This is the artist. I'll give you an example. I'll read it to you so that you know. And these are great descriptions. Okay, Thomas Rhett. I know Thomas Rhett. I've written songs with him. His dad is going to be the BMI Songwriter of the Year, probably. His dad is Rhett Akins, so it's Thomas Rhett Akins actually. He's recording a Big Machine, which is Scott Borchetta's company. His producer is Jay Joyce. And he went in on October 10th, and here's the description of what they're looking for. Hits.
That's probably the only one on there like that, huh?
It's the only one on that line. The line below it says the same thing. So Billy Currington, Universal Music Group, Carson Chamberlain producing, going in October 9th, he went in October 9th. He's looking for hits. But every once in a while it gets a little bit more detailed. Here's one for Love and Theft, recording for Sony Records. Joshua producing sometime in the fall, is the date. Have cut 4 sides, trying to beat the first 4. They want West Coast Eagles, Jackson Brown, no rural imagery, positive, sexy love songs. So that's a little better.
No cows in the field.
Right. I got a song called Crows Out in the Cornfield. They don't want that
They
song.
don't know. Somebody might though.
So then we say that they're actually going into the studio without having all the material that they need to.
No, chances are they would either delay, if they don't have what they want, they'd delay the recording session. Or they would determine that, let's just go in with what we have now and see what we get. You know, in other words, I'm sure they have a batch of songs but they're continuing to look.
So of that 100 songs you wrote last year, you go through this list and you think,
Exactly.
well, you know, I do have something that
Exactly.
that's where you pitch it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And my publisher's asking all the time, hey, I've got a meeting with so-and-so, got a meeting with, Dirk's family it was today at 11 o'clock. Send me ideas. Well, I can go here and I see Dirk's is looking for one more. That's all it says. Well, what that says to me is that he wants an up-tempo, positive hit song. You know, he's trying to beat what he has if he's only looking for one more song. And he's got a whole album full, and he needs something really spectacular. And so,
So you don't always wait for that, you just bank songs that you've written?
do I what songs?
Bank them, you store them up.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you write every day anyway. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to completely rely on this because, like I said, even when they say they're looking for this and that, you know, that it's not always necessarily true, you know. And you can't go wrong. I wrote a song called "Suds in the Bucket."
Sara Evans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll play a work tape or a guitar vocal, and then I'll play the demo and play the master so that you can hear
It's great.
how it's progressed. Now, we wrote that song because on the pitch sheet it said Leanne Womack, recording, I think she was on RCA, can't remember who was producing, going in the studio, such and such a date, and then under the description it said looking for up-tempo, positive, traditional sounding country songs. So we wrote Suds in the Bucket. Now, I don't always do that. I don't always look at this and go, man, let's write a song for this. In fact, very seldom do I write for an artist specifically. But in that case, it was like, okay, this gives us kind of we might not have done that day, you know? And so we're like, yeah, let's write this song. And again, breaking the rules, I didn't start with a title that day. We started with this musical thing because we knew she was looking for up-tempo, positive, traditional.
But you had Leanne Womack in mind.
We did have Leanne Womack in mind. And I've told her that. And yeah, I was doing a writer's night with her and I told that story about how, you know, I said, well, and Leanne, she didn't cut this song, so Sara Evans cut this song. And so then it got to be Leanne's turn and she said, well, I wanted Billy Montana to write this song, but he wouldn't, so I had Odie Blackman write this song. And I was like, oh, okay. Womack 1, Montana 0. But, you know, it was all in jest. And that happens all the time. And it's like I was saying, just because it doesn't necessarily mean when someone doesn't record your song, it doesn't mean it's not a good song. It just means it's not right for them. You know, I mean, it's just not right. You have 11, 12 songs on a CD. They've all got to have different tempos. They've got to have different subject matters. They have to have different attitudes. They should be in different keys. I mean, there's all these things that go into making a CD. And so you can't take it personally when, I mean, I still do. But I shouldn't take it personally when somebody says my baby's ugly. I don't know, you know.
But you still do. That's the creative
I know.
way.
I know. I'm so sensitive. Gotta get over it.
How many end up on albums?
Well, I've written probably 1,500 songs.
And how many?
I've had 70-something cuts. Bad odds.
Okay.
And 3 big hits. And a couple moderate hits.
Big as in,
Number ones.
okay.
And they are Suds in the Bucket and
Bring on the Rain was a Jo Dee Messina hit back in
Oh, I
2001,
love that one.
2002. I'll play it for you. And
Twice.
More Than a Memory was Garth Brooks, 2007. That was a good one. That debuted at number 1 on the charts. And it was the only time in country music history that a single came